Awesome. Well, I'm excited to be here in Daytona Beach. What a great venue. I absolutely love this. So I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's where I built my real estate team. I'll give you a little background on myself and how I came to find eXp. I was actually with Keller Williams for 4 years. Any former or current Keller Williams agents in the house? Couple. All right. I love it. So I was there for 4 years. My entire real estate career, I got licensed at the end of 2012. And I loved my time at Keller Williams. I wasn't looking to make a change. A lot of times we find our best agents that come to us aren't looking for a change. They're happy where they are, but they just see a better model. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So I wasn't really looking. I always said if I ever left Keller Williams, it was going to be start my own real estate brokerage. However, I didn't have any plans to do that. I had a small team. We were selling about 80, 90 homes a year. And we're having a lot of fun with it. Then at the end of 2016, I was down in Naples, Florida with Keller Williams. It was a Keller Williams event about expansion, and I was there and I got pretty excited about it. I came back and then my real estate coach at the time was like, AJ, before you do anything crazy, check out this model. Look at this webinar. So it's a very similar presentation that I saw that you're going to see today. And after watching that, for me, I knew it was where I needed to go. So next week I signed up with eXp and haven't looked back. So January 1, 2017 is when I joined the company. And as we go through the presentation, you'll learn why I joined eXp. There's 4 or 5 different reasons why I think an agent would join eXp, and I'll let you know my top 2 when we get there. So what we're going to cover is who we are as a company, our solutions to the real estate industry, and our business model, as well as what you need to do to join eXp. So who we are, how we made it today. So this is Glenn Sanford, our founder and CEO. Glenn Sanford was formerly with Keller Williams. He was really doing like at a high level internet leads before internet leads were really a big thing. And he's a very tech savvy individual, and he knew that there had to be a better way all the way back in 2009 for the real estate industry. So he developed the first cloud-based brokerage, eXp. So from 2009, fast forward to 2019, like Debbie already mentioned, we've hit 20,000 agents already. When I joined the company, we only had 2,400. And that's 28 months ago. Like, that's insane growth. It's funny, so in Charlotte, we started at 49 agents when I joined, and now we're over 1,300. They call me the Godfather there, and they make a joke about it because I'm so young. But it's an honor to have helped lead the growth in the Charlotte market. So we're having a lot of fun with it and really developing a lot of great leaders in the company. So like I mentioned, we're close to 20,000 agents now. We're in all 50 states and 4 Canadian provinces. And we have a little event coming up here in Orlando. So if you're with eXp or looking to join, it's June 4th through 6th. You should definitely go. It's our shareholders event. There's going to be the board of directors there, some investors, and then all the eXp agents. And we're going to have 2 big announcements coming up, it sounds like, with international expansion. So we are excited for that. So just absolutely explosive growth is what we've been experiencing. Over 1,000 agents a month right now are joining the company. Fastest growing real estate brokerage in the history of real estate. Faster than Keller Williams, RE/MAX. We're in Real Trends, top 500 Power Broker magazine. We're in all the major publications pretty much on a weekly basis. If you follow Inman News, we've been in there a lot. You see a lot of the top teams from different brokerages coming over, and a lot of interesting things about how we're changing the real estate industry as a whole. We've been compared to Amazon and Blockbuster, or the Netflix and Blockbuster comparison, as I'll show you in a minute. So eXp Solutions, so we have our eXp World, and that's the technology that this company is built on. Who here has not seen the avatar world on the eXp campus yet? Anybody? Everyone seen the eXp World? Awesome. So we have this avatar world, this campus, and it was so funny. When I saw that at first, I was like, well, that's kind of like, that's cool, but I probably won't really use that. And then once I actually got into the world and experienced it, I was like, this is so cool. And it's cool because as opposed to having to run around my old real estate office to get questions answered about my commission check, and the person I'm looking for isn't there, they're out to lunch, and then I'm on listing appointments in the afternoon, and then it's like a week later before I actually get my question answered. Now I just log in, just like you would log into your email, into this cloud environment, and you get your questions answered like that. It's open like, I think it's 8 a.m. Eastern to like 7 p.m. Eastern. Like it's like a lot of hours. Like I've never had an issue getting in there. I actually saw an article recently on Business Insider. Stanford is using our cloud campus as a way to teach a class to, I think it said 197 students around the world. And it was really interesting. They didn't mention eXp, they just mentioned our technology, which is called Verbella. And the students were talking about how as soon as they log in, they feel like they're in like a real auditorium. It's that interactive. So I thought that was pretty neat because that technology is available to other companies if they want to use that service. It's all hosted under our stock eXp. SkySlope, so that's our transaction management. Anyone ever used like dotloop before? SkySlope. So dotloop and SkySlope are going to be really interchangeable. If you're like me, like new technology, it's like, man, technology is great, I love it. However, I don't want to learn it if I don't have to. And that's kind of how I felt switching from dotloop to SkySlope. And once I actually decided to learn it, I learned it like that, and it's actually a lot, in my opinion, easier to use and has more functions that dotloop didn't. So I love SkySlope when I jumped in there. Workplace by Facebook, so that's our private community. There's tons of groups in there. A couple of my favorite groups in there are going to be the eXp announcements and the water cooler chat. So we have a lot of our agents just talking about what's going on in the company. And what I think is really neat about our company that I haven't seen in the industry before is that if leadership changes or something's going on in our company, a different path that we're going to take, our leadership, our presence of the company, our CEO, Glenn Sanford, they actually get in and they're explaining what's going on, like on a Facebook Live. Never before have I seen that type of transparency into a real estate company. And it's important to me as you really bet my career on a company that I'm aligned with a company that's willing to let me see and be transparent with the direction of it, because that's a big deal. But if you like yoga for real estate agents, we have like a group for that in there. So like really whatever you want, you can get in there and really spend all day. Don't recommend that, but it's a really cool community to have. CRM and lead generation. So anyone hear of Boomtown or Commissions Inc. before? Yeah. So prior to coming to eXp, I was using a system called Boomtown. If you haven't heard of it, it's currently $1,750 a month. When I had it, it was only $1,500, and that's just for the technology piece. That doesn't include any of the advertising that you're doing. Just for the technology is $1,500 a month. Great system, but when you join eXp, you get KV Core as part of your technology package, which is only $50 a month. And KV Core, I like to look at KV Core and Boomtown kind of like the Ferrari and Lamborghini of real estate, of CRM systems. So we do online training up to 30 hours a week. And with that live training, we're going to teach you how to get free leads using your KV Core site and things like that. So that's really important. Our business model, so the comparison that I made a little bit earlier, people have said, you know, what we're doing has been compared to what Netflix has done to Blockbuster. Your typical franchise is going to have costly overhead, and it's going to be mostly locally confined for the most part. Consistent growth incentives for you as an agent, limited technology and support. And at eXp, we're going to have low fees, competitive split. I like that. Expansion is going to be encouraged. So let's just say, for example, going back to my scenario, when I was at KW, if I wanted to expand in different markets, at the time, I don't know what it is now, but you had to pay a full cap in each market center you wanted to expand to. So if you wanted to expand to 10 markets, then it'd be $250,000 in expenses to do that. At eXp, you can expand anywhere in the country, soon to be world, and have one cap of $16,000. That's pretty good. Powerful earning opportunities, so we have revenue share and stock. We're going to jump in that here in a minute. And then real-time support, which I already mentioned. We actually have over 300 full-time employees working at eXp now. So commission and cap. So this is really important, I think, when an agent's looking at a company. Not the most important, but very important. We have an 80-20 commission split with a $16,000 cap. So I saw that, I was like, that's pretty good. So for example, I sell a house, the commission's $10,000. I get to keep $8,000 of that here at eXp. At my former company, it was a $64.36 when you consider the franchise fee. So I would have only kept $6,400. So just off that one commission check here at eXp, I earn an extra $1,400. That's a really big deal, especially if you're not a capping agent. That's real money. After the $16,000 cap, there was a transaction fee of $250, and that also has a cap after 20 transactions. So for that startup fee, you're going to get 1,000 business cards. You're going to get some presentation folders. You're going to get your KV Core website set up, as well as SkySlope. $50 a month tech fee, that's covering your SkySlope and your KV Core. $35 a month eXp University fee, that's going to be for all the online training. And what I think is really neat about our training is that Whereas before I would go to my local office being taught by local agents who may or may not be big producers, which is totally fine, but it was just very locally confined. What we're getting in our university is we're getting top agents around the entire country, in some cases selling over 1,000 homes a year, teaching different classes. So I love that about our university. Then a $25 a month broker review fee and a $40 risk management fee. And then the $40 risk management fee also has a cap of $500. So if you're a big producer, the most you'll ever pay on risk management fee, which is your E&O insurance, is $500. All right, so this is one of the reasons I really decided to join. You know, the lead generation side of it was amazing. It checked that box for me. This better splits and better cap, that was great. But this gets into where I really joined and got excited. Like, this was never before offered at any real estate company, is the equity opportunities. So at eXp, we're all shareholders once you start to earn stock through selling houses. Our ticker symbol is EXPI. When I first joined, it was funny, a lot of other companies in the industry kind of made fun of us because we were like a penny stock. When I joined, the stock was only around $2.80 a share. We weren't even on the NASDAQ yet. And last April at the shareholders meeting, when it was in Vegas, it was announced that we hit NASDAQ with really big companies like Microsoft and Apple. And it was really neat to see the founder and board of directors and some other leaders in our company actually ring the closing bell at NASDAQ a few months ago. I mean, eXp, real big, was in Times Square with our founder on it, which is really just cool and an exciting moment in our company. But how do you earn stock? So there's a few different ways to earn stock. One of the ways is every year when you sell your first house, you get some stock. When you fully cap, you get stock. And when you sponsor an agent, meaning you are excited about eXp, you share it with a friend or colleague and they join eXp, when they sell their first house, you get stock. So I thought that was pretty good. I was like, so you're telling me for what I'm already doing and getting really nothing for, I'm going to start to earn stock in a publicly traded company. I was like, that sounds really cool. I was always a capping agent at my former company, and the best thing that I got was a nice paper like printout with a black cap on it, not even a frame on it, which was unfortunate, so I couldn't even really hang it up. So when you sell about 11 houses a year in this market, go on to sell another 20 homes, you'll be eligible to become an Icon agent. And what you get for that is your entire $16,000 back in company stock is actually given back to you, which is really, really neat. So my first year with eXp 2017, I was awarded an Icon agent, and I got 4,500 shares of stock. And now that stock's it's been trading around $10, $11 a share. Yeah, so that's $45,000 worth of stock in today's market. So people are like, well, I'm just gonna go to 100% company, or I'm at 100% company. Well, I'm at like a 500% company. So the agent equity program, so I was talking to RE/MAX agent and they were like, I was like, so are you sure that's all you're paying? They're like, I'm a 95-5 split. So I bring that up to say, the thought process for me would be coming from a company like that is like, I'm currently paying a franchise fee to this international company, making somebody else rich. I can take that 5% that I was previously paying in royalty and put that in eXp stock at a 20% discount. So the stock's trading currently at about $10 a share. You're buying the stock at $8 a share right now. And that's the same money that you're already giving away, but now you're building a retirement for yourself. So year to date, the current stock that was awarded to me through these different sustainable equity plan and the Icon Agent Award, not including this, is around 8,000 shares. So that today has a market value around $80,000. So just in a little over 2 years, I have $80,000 worth of stock now that I didn't have before. So I like that. So the revenue share is what got me really excited. So if you're familiar at all with Keller Williams, you know they have profit sharing. We have revenue sharing. So Keller Williams, undisputable, is an amazing company, great company. And they became the #1 company in North America in terms of agent count, some like 160,000 agents in North America, pretty good. They became #1 largely because of their profit sharing. People are excited about Keller Williams, are excited about eXp, so you're going to tell friends and you're going to be rewarded for that. The difference is our revenue sharing is like 10 times more powerful because we don't have the overhead that a traditional brokerage has. We're completely cloud-based, right? So just to give you an example. So say I bring in Debbie. Debbie sells a $10,000 home. On that transaction, out of her 20% that she's paying to eXp, I get $350. So that's pretty good. I like that. But I believe if you don't love where you work and you're not telling people about it, you shouldn't be working there. And if you do love where you work or a restaurant that you go to and you're sharing it with people, why not be rewarded for that? So that's really what the revenue sharing is all about. So I bring on Debbie. Debbie's a capping agent. She's, every single year for bringing her on, I'm going to get paid $2,800. Once she caps, I don't get paid anymore because eXp doesn't get paid anymore because the money I receive comes out of what eXp is getting. So I was like, that is pretty good, because when I joined Keller Williams, I joined because I loved the model. I loved everything they had. That's why I joined. I didn't even know about profit share when I joined. But when I heard about profit share after I joined, I was like, that's pretty cool. So you're telling me I can earn residual income? I like that idea, because for me, my goal, without even knowing about any of this when I was a young man of 16 years old, I want to start investing in real estate because I wanted what I think is the holy grail, which is time freedom. I think we can all agree we'd like more time to spend with our family, our friends, doing the things that we love. So more time freedom, more money freedom, and location freedom is kind of like the cherry on top to be able to travel. I started sharing the opportunity of KW with some friends who I'd meet, and I quickly learned that the opportunity at KW for profit share is not really what it once was. I met this guy who owned part of the region in the Carolinas, and he was like traveling like to Alaska on these epic fishing trips, and I only met him once. He's kind of like a fictitious character, this guy making about 20, 30 grand a month in profit share. I was like, man, that's gonna be me one day. And then I spent about 4 years, working it a little bit and never got to over $5,000 a year in profit share. So I was like, I'm gonna go broke if I really focus any amount of my time on this profit share thing. So I say all that to say, when I saw eXp, I was like, this is where Keller Williams was back in the 90s. Like, this is a big opportunity. And because we don't have the overhead of a traditional office, I mean, some of these offices are over $500,000 to $1 million a year to operate. You have the leases, you have the staff to run them. And in most metropolitan areas where I was in Charlotte, there's like 10 KW offices or 10 RE/MAX offices. So we cut out all that overhead, and now that revenue is just being shared back with the agents who are the ones who are truly building the company. I was like, that's an opportunity where I can help change lives, build a company, because I'm an entrepreneur, and still sell real estate. That sounds pretty good. So my wife and I, when we joined the company, our goal was to keep selling a bunch of houses. Because back then, 2.5 years ago, there was only 2,400 agents. My mentor, Brent Gove, said, and he's a $100 million producer from KW, former team leader, was on like their magazine for being a top team leader, like never thought he'd leave KW, but he left 3 months before I did. But he said to me, AJ, worst case scenario, you're still selling a bunch of houses in a few years. Best case scenario, who knows what could happen. I was like, that sounds good to me. So I took a leap of faith. And my wife and I said, wow, what if we could sponsor 5 agents a year, personally, for 5 years? That means we would have brought in 25 agents in 5 years. And what if that 25 could turn into 500? From what I understand about the company and what I heard, it sounds like, per agent in your organization, they're about $800 to $1,000 a year in income if the average agent sells about 6 homes a year at $250,000 a year in sales price. So that's pretty much your average agent. So I was like, so you can tell me I could be making $400,000 to $500,000 a year in passive income in 5 years? That sounds awesome. That is what I want. So my wife and I, that was our goal. And we only set that goal because we really had no idea what that even meant. But this guy, Rob Flick, who used to be at Keller Williams also, it's said that he's the number 14 profit share earner with Keller Williams of all time. Like, he's been traveling the world for like the last 12 years with his wife and son all over every country you can think of. Well, he still is to this day. But he came out of retirement to get involved with eXp because he saw the opportunity, because he was in Keller back in the 90s, one of the first agents in Arizona. So he hit it at the right time. So he came out of retirement for this, and he said, I'm going to get 500 agents in 3 years. So 500 agents in 3 years was his goal. And this was like 3 years ago. And I was like, well, I'm not as good as Rob Flick. He's done this before, but what if I could do it in 5? So that's why I set that goal. And I'm happy to report that as of June 18th last year, so just 18 months into the company, I had personally sponsored about 23 agents, and that turned into 500. So it only took 18 months to hit my 5-year goal. Wow. And it's largely because this is a model that's solving so many problems that the average agent has. I don't know about you guys, but when I got into real estate, I was putting everything on credit cards and was living, I would say, paycheck to paycheck, except there wasn't always a paycheck there. So I was just living. And then you start making some money, and then you're paying taxes that you didn't pay last year, or you're trying to catch up on whatever. Like, if you're in real estate or if you're a human being, you probably had been there at some point in your life. So we have a huge problem as real estate agents. How are we going to get off the hamster wheel of selling? How are we going to get on the hamster wheel of living a life that we really want to be living, a way to make multiple streams of income? So we have the rev share, we have stock opportunity, we have lower commission splits, we have a lead gen platform that can get us leads cheaper and more efficiently. So we have all of that, and that's the problem we're solving. And you know, it's on my heart to share that with agents because I hate to see people working so hard until they're 70, really having to work until they can't work anymore, because that's the industry we're in. It's extremely hard work to be a real estate agent, and you don't make that much money really for the amount of work that you do, in my opinion. And this solves that issue. That's why we're growing so fast. Let's go back to the example. I recruited Debbie, and then Debbie goes off and recruits somebody else and recruits you. What was your name? Mark. Debbie recruits Mark. And Mark is a capping agent. So every year that Mark's a capping agent, I'm gonna get paid, me, $3,200. And I just met Mark today. That's pretty awesome. And Debbie's gonna get $2,800. So right there, the company's willing to take out of his $16,000 cap, they're willing to take $6,000 of that and pay it back to us as agents for building the company. So this is cascading revenue share. So I'm just gonna fast forward here real quick. So let's just say we're gonna use some easy math, because I like easy math. So if you bring into the company 5 agents and they go out and bring in 5 agents, this is what you can expect. So I bring in 5 capping agents. I'm gonna make $14,000 a year from my first tier, tier 1. Then if those 5 agents went out and got another 5 agents, I would earn $80,000 a year. So theoretically speaking, from an organization of 30 agents, I would be receiving about $94,000 annually in revenue share. Of course, you might be thinking, well, everyone's not going to get 5. You're exactly right, 100%. What's going to happen is some are going to get 20, 30, 50, and then most are going to get none, 1 or 2. But it's going to average out to maybe around 5. I did the math at the last presentation I did last week in St. Augustine, and mine actually came out to 6. So I've personally, currently I have 28 total agents at eXp, and the average is 6. So pretty good. So this is the chart that is going to explain how much you can earn from each tier. So eXp says on tier 7 you're actually able to get up to $4,000 in rev share. And this column is interesting because you have to earn unlocking all these tiers. So currently, I just mentioned, I only have 28 qualifying agents at eXp, which only qualifies me at 25 plus to open up my first 6 tiers. So I'm not really earning a lot on tier 7 right now, and that's okay because I'm still earning a lot and I'm very happy with that. But I do want to unlock this level. So to unlock these levels, you're going to have to go out and meet those expectations there. So, and that's why I said, you know, 5 years, can I bring on 25 a year? Because that would have unlocked my first 6 levels. So you get paid out all 7 levels. So now it's at the point where I have over 200 people, I believe 215 on tier 3, somewhere around 250 on tier 4 and tier 5. So between these 3 tiers, over 700 agents. Whereas before I was selling as a team, you know, what was that, 7 homes, 8 homes a month. Now I have the opportunity because I have, oh, I didn't even tell you the best part. So on June 18th, I hit 500 agents. Today, I don't know what the date is, but I have now 1,283 agents. It's almost tripled less than a year later. That's pretty good. I've only personally ever brought in 39 people into the entire company. It's so funny, some agents are like, well, I don't want to be a recruiter. Yeah, either do I. That's why I'm not a recruiter. If I was a recruiter, like, you're required as a team leader, which is a recruiter at Keller Williams, to like bring in, depending on the office, whatever, like 10 people a month. That's a recruiter. So that means I would have had to bring in 28 months times 10, 280 agents. I brought in 39. I would be the worst recruiter for Keller Williams in all time. I would have been fired in probably my first 2 months, and I would be back to selling houses. So I'm not recruiting. I'm simply sharing an opportunity, and a lot of people ask me about it, and I share that with them. So for us, we've completely achieved financial freedom because of the revenue share model. And my wife and I were able to sell our house back August 1st in Charlotte, and we've been traveling the country for the last 9 months in an RV, a motorhome. So that's been really awesome. So not something everyone would want to do with their spouse, I'm sure. We're together all the time, but it's really been a lot of fun for us. So residual income, just imagine. So if you were to stay at your current real estate broker, or if you were going to keep doing what you're already doing, how much would it take you to save $1.5 million, $1.5 million? I had a great real estate team. I was earning in excess of $20,000 a month most months. So that's pretty good income, a couple hundred grand a year. And I really can't tell you how long it would take me to save after taxes, 1.5 million, probably at least 20 years. I had zero saved, so whatever, from 0 to 1.5, how many years? That would, if you did the math, that would mean never, because I had nothing saved. So most agents are never going to save $1.5 million. The only reason I'm bringing up 1.5 million is because if you're going to invest your money and actually retire on that income in like mutual funds, index funds, the safe withdrawal rate is about 4%. If you talk to a retirement planner, you already know this. If you haven't, Google it. It's actually really interesting. If your goal, this is at 6%. So if your goal is to live on $94,000 a year at a 6% withdrawal rate, you need 1.5. The safe withdrawal rate is only 4%. This was a study done in the late 90s called the Trinity study, which they did a study, and basically it said that you have a 96% chance of not running out of money if you're only withdrawing 4% every single year. So, but this uses 6%. So I don't know about you guys, but I would, in retirement, at least like to have close to 6 figures a year in income to live the lifestyle I'd like to live. And if you don't have that much money saved by the time you want to retire, whether it's 60, 65, 70, you're going to be like living off that, plus maybe some Social Security. So to join eXp, you're simply going to fill out our application and sign the independent contractor agreement. So right now, when you fill out the application, it's just changed like today. When you fill out your application, they're going to immediately send you your independent contractor agreement. And after reviewing that, if you're like, wow, this really looks good, it's really the black and white of what we just talked about. If you think everything sounds good and you want to move forward with our company, then you're going to sign the independent contractor agreement, and then that'll go back to eXp, and then your license will start to be transferred. Then at least fill out the application. It takes like 2 minutes, and at least get the ICA agreement, because what that does is your next step for due diligence. So then your license will be transferred and you'll be with eXp. I like this slide here. So Mark Zuckerberg, he invited 5 people to his Harvard dorm room and only 2 showed up. It was Dustin, worth $12.7 billion, and Eduardo, worth $9.64 billion. So what a lesson for the 3 and all of us to not have a closed mind. And everyone here obviously has an open mind, so I congratulate you for that. You know, just having an open mind, taking risk, what that can ultimately afford you.